Idly ho, drinkerinos. It's another episode of the Idaho Booze Podcast with me, Steve Kuntz. On today's episode, we have Caitlin Gardner. Maybe she'll be here. She hasn't shown up yet, but hopefully she gets here from the Sun Valley Beer Festival, and she will be here to talk to us about the big fest happening in a couple of weeks up there in Ketchum. Plus, we'll see if we can find some ways to improve on beer fest in general. In fact, we might do that anyway, since our guest is not here yet. And we're going to have some fun with Caitlin also about the beer fest thing in general before we have a big announcement, a huge announcement for the Sun Valley Beer Fest. All that and more on today's episode of the Idaho Booze Podcast. This show brought to you by Trucks and Auto Auctions in Nampa. Car payments suck. They do. At Trucks and Auto Nampa, we're auctioning off vehicles every other week at prices that you won't believe. Trucks and Auto Nampa gets its inventory from all over the Treasure Valley, including used cop cars, city vehicles, bank repos, and other vehicles that are ready and willing to be your next car, truck, or SUV. Sign up is free and auctions happen every other Thursday at trucksandautonampa.com. Get out of your car payment and into a great ride with Trucks and Auto Nampa today. Welcome back to the big show. Caitlin Gardner, not quite here yet. Maybe she got caught up in information superhighway traffic. I don't know. She's not here. Maybe there's a time difference between here and Ketchum. I'm not really sure how any of that stuff works, but I am here. I know it's been a while since I've had a show. It's because we keep having this kind of same problem. We have guests that commit to be on, and then they either forget or they don't show up. Or in one case, I was at their place waiting for them, and they told me as I was waiting for them there that they weren't going to make it. So, I mean, I don't know what's going on. Like, this is a very free thing that I offer for people in the booze business to sort of get word out there that, you know, what they're doing, what's happening, what's going on. And if anyone wants to be on the show, please, you know, get a hold of me. Happy to have you on the show, but you have to actually show up and be on the show. I can't AI my way through a guest. We're going to talk to Caitlin about the Sun Valley Beer Festival that happens here in a couple weeks. I think it's on June 26th or 27th, something like that. And I was going to bring up some things, like some different kind of ways that we could improve upon Beer Fest. And we just had Idaho Brewers, which is always a fun fest. And by all accounts, it went fine. I don't know. I didn't go. They didn't reach out to me. I didn't reach out to them. No tickets were given. No tickets were offered. No tickets needed. I mean, I wasn't going to go anyway. So I love the Idaho Brewers, and this is why I love the number one reason why I love the Idaho Brewers, the Brewers Fest out there in Idaho Falls, is because it is a competition. First and foremost, every beer fest should have some type of competitive element. Whether it's a beer judging or whether maybe it's a brewery kind of thing. Great American Beer Festival kind of does all of them. They do best breweries and best beers. You know, whatever you want to do. There used to be one up in Aspen that was super fun. That was all barley wines and strong ales. That's super fun. I just think that what they should do up at Sun Valley and all these other like kind of nondescript festivals, Twin Falls would be a good one, is run some type of competition. First of all, brewers love to put hardware up on the wall. They love it. It's their favorite thing. I don't know if there's anything that brewers or winemakers or anyone else likes more than justification for the hard work that you do. So competition's always fun. Also, it should be like, you know, you want to check in every so often and see if there's other voters. I mean, Northern Brewers, Idaho Falls always has the same judges. It's the same judges every year. So it's never a surprise if like Black Cliffs wins or if like, you know, whatever Hazy Breakside wins or whoever else. Like it's usually, you know, the same voters. So it's usually kind of the same beers that win. I mean, there are different ones, I'm sure. I'm just talking out of my ass here, and that's fine too. But they're the same judges by and large at Northern Brewers at Idaho Falls. So, you know, maybe with this competition in Sun Valley, you could have different people judging. There's a hot new chef up there, Britt Resigno. She was on Tournament of Champions a lot. She's been on it actually a few times, and she has a restaurant up there. Maybe she could be a celebrity judge. Or there's some other people that are up there that are kind of celebrity-ish. I mean, you know, you have no shortage of celebrities up in the Sun Valley area. So you could probably find someone cool to host it or someone cool to kind of be there as it's happening or whatever. I think it'd be fun to turn that fest into sort of competition. I think that'd be neat, and it would give brewers a chance to sort of show off a little bit more. And maybe if it was like an IPA only fest, that'd be cool. If it was like a lager only fest, something like that. I just think that'd be fun to kind of do something different. This is a good one. I have like a lot of these ideas that I kind of came up with the other day, actually 2 weeks ago, when I thought I was having Caitlin on at first. So one of them is, this is an awesome idea. I don't know. I don't think she's going to show up, so I'm just going to do it. So instead of tokens, you should give everyone a mug. This is such a great idea. I should get paid for stuff like this. Instead of tokens, you should give everyone a mug the size of how many ounces you are offering at the fest. Just give them the mug. That's 32 ounces, 64 ounces, whatever, 48 ounces, whatever it is. Just give them the mug. And then you have to figure out a way to mark it off. So maybe you start from the top and work your way down. So the first time you go to get a beer, you ask them for like 4 ounces. So they pour you 4 ounces, and then they mark off 4 ounces off the top of the mug. So the next time you can only get you can get up to 44 ounces. So you go to another brewery, you get another beer, and that one you want to get 10 ounces. Maybe you really like that one. So you get 10 ounces of that one, they mark it. And don't do any stupid. I know what every single person is thinking right now. Oh, but what if it's a stout? Oh, what if it's a hard ale? It doesn't matter. We're only talking ounces here. You bought all the beer anyway. It doesn't matter how you give it out. So so each time someone wants a beer from somewhere, they go to the brewery and they're like, yeah, I'll take 8 ounces. And they just do 8 ounces instead of doing like 5, and then if they want, I guess you could rebuy in, but I mean, 48 ounces or 64 ounces, something like that, you're going to be pretty good by that time. I think this would work really well for wine festivals too, actually. I think this works for everybody. This is a great idea. So yeah, you get a mug. The mug says how many ounces are on it. And then you only get that much. Maybe you can't rebuy. Maybe that's all you get. I don't know. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I'm going to do that. We're going to do it. We're going to bring back the McCall Beer Fest. They do the destination. We'll do something different. These are all ideas you can steal, by the way. Go ahead and take them. They're out there. So if you don't like that, if you don't like my idea with the mug, which I don't know how you could not like that idea, that's a great idea, then instead of tokens, I'm trying to get rid of tokens. I hate them. They're stupid. You have to make new ones every year. It's just something else I have to carry in my pocket. And then the lady is like, well, that's 1 token. That's 2 tokens. Why is it different tokens anyway? Everything should be like this, Anyway, this sort of blows that out of the water anyway. If you don't like that, so instead of tokens, now we're giving everybody, I wrote these like 2 weeks ago, so I don't really remember them. If you don't like that, then instead of tokens, give everybody $50,000 in Monopoly money and see how much people would pay. This is so good. See how much people would pay for a pour of each beer, and whichever beer garners the most money wins. There's your competition. Boom. Sun Valley, you could do this today. You could switch over right now from whatever coupon or token or whatever you were going to use. You could do this. So instead of tokens, you give everybody 50 grand in Monopoly money. And then they go around and maybe like they want to try a little. So they'll like give them like, 1,000. So here's 1,000. And they'll try it. And if they don't like it, fine, they don't go back. And then maybe they try like 4 or 5 other ones. 1,000. And then they find one they really like. All right. Let's see. I would pay up to 10 grand for that one. And then whoever gets the most Monopoly money in their till at the end of the night, that's the beer that wins. That might be like one of those like that idea is almost there. It's not quite fully cooked. As apologies to Kevin Wilds and everybody over at the Ringer. It's a half-baked idea, but I like it. I think it's neat. 50,000 Monopoly money. I do like my mug idea better, to be fair. As sort of a way to get rid of these tokens, you do the mug idea, and everybody gets a commemorative mug, and you get to have as much of whatever beer as you want. You're not stuck with 2 ounces of like. What if you like already know? What if there's a beer there you already know you like, and you're like, you know what? I know I'm gonna want a 12-ounce pour of that, so you can get that. And with the 50,000 Monopoly money, this is more about which ones you like the best and how much money you would spend. I guess I'd have to work something out in that one too. Maybe there would be like 2 offerings from each brewery, and one of them would be like the 5,000 offering, and one of them, I don't know. I don't know how to, but someone, I'm sure if there was a guest on right now, they could help me figure that out. What is the number one problem with any fest? What do you think? Heat, that's a big one. Not enough beer has happened a couple times. Oh, the stupid Utah Fest in stupid Utah, they don't let you put the beer in kegs. So anything over 5%, the breweries have to open bottles and cans for every person that comes up. So if God help you, you're at the end of a 22-ounce bottle, you're getting like the flattest, grossest beer. Oh my God, what a dumb state. So how do we get rid of lines at a beer fest? Well, I don't know. This one is another one that's sort of a half-baked idea. It's sort of like, I wish I could solve these kind of problems. But I think if you do a new release every 30 minutes, like if you just put like 5 beers out there to start, obviously, yeah, you're going to have lines at the very beginning. But then every 30 minutes, you're like, we'll bring out these 2 beers. And then after another 30 minutes, these 2 beers. So maybe crowds would then be more disposed to waiting that 30 minutes, like they'd go get a beer and then maybe, or 2 beers or whatever it is, or if it's my mug idea, you get a full beer and you wait the 30 minutes and then go over to where the new beer is going to be and then go wait over there. So then people are more dispersed every 30 minutes. They're being dispersed to new lines. So that way, by the time the 4th or 5th or the last release comes out, everybody's already tried the first 5 beers that were out there, 10 beers that were out there before, and they've since gone to these new beers every 30 minutes. Maybe that would bring people around. The other thing is, I've always thought that if you have a fest that's indoors, and I've been to a couple indoor fests that have been really fun and a couple that have been disastrous, I think that if you do like sort of like at the Boise or the Ada County Fairgrounds, the rooms in there are separate. They have separate rooms. So if you take like 2 rooms and you make one of them like all about lagers and one of them all about ales or one of them about IPAs and whatever it is, then you kind of split people up naturally anyway. They're not waiting in those lines as much, that way either. But again, this is kind of a half-baked idea. I think the other idea I had is you go buy one of those self-serve machines. Remember those? We had a brewery. We had a beer bar downtown in Boise that did this, the self-serve. And then Bodovino did this with the wine, which I think is a much better use of it. But those self-serve machines. So, yeah, popular, not popular, maybe notorious during the 2010s. So use those instead of volunteers. You use the self-serve machines that are out there. I'm sure you can get them for, I bet if I checked eBay right now, I could find them and they wouldn't be all that expensive. I think they'd probably be pretty cheap. But yeah, you just get one of those self-serve machines and you let people, use those. And that way you could put in like your token, like this is back to tokens. You put in your token and you get, a 2.5 ounce pour, whatever it is, 3 ounce pour. 1 ounce also is not enough ounces. By the way, you can't pour 1 ounces of beer. It's impossible. Kegs, it'd have to be the perfect keg setup. It has to be 2.5 ounces, 3 ounces, something. It can't be 1 ounce. You can't. So anyway, you get these things. You can set them to 2 or 3 ounces or 4 ounces or whatever it is. And that way there's no waste. You're getting the token every time. And then I think you could also on the back end of that probably keep track of which ones do the best in sales. So you could do the competition there that way as well. So that would be good. That would work, I think. Let's see. Man, if only there was a way to bounce this off of somebody. Let's see. What's the next issue, the next big issue with beer fests? Sorry to say it. It's drunk people. Drunk people. It's a tough one because it is a beer fest. So if you drink beer, especially if it's a beer fest with unlimited servings, you're going to get drunk. But I'm not talking about like fun, happy drunk, rolling around on the grass, blah, 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 blah. I'm talking about like, I've seen this literally happen where somebody has pissed themselves at a beer fest. I've seen people fall over. I've seen a lot of at the time, funny. Now, kind of sad. But you see this shit at beer fests all the time. And I've always believed that fests should provide food gratis. They should have free food. They have food trucks. They have all this other stuff set up. I say that if it's all going to charity anyway, charge an extra $3 or $4. It's already fucking $45 to go to a beer fest anyway. So charge the extra $3 or $4 and then just go ahead and give out like pizza or soft pretzels, taquitos, those uncrustable things. Any kind of cheap carby food would work. Chips, little buckets of like chips and salsa, or little buckets like chips and cheese or nachos or whatever. That way you don't have to have food trucks there, which cause more lines. And either that or you just pay for the food truck and you just have them give out the food that they make. I mean, I just think that it's always like kind of a shit show at the end, and it's usually because there's not enough food. So why not just give out food? Like just give out sandwiches, whatever. The cost, I think, would be outweighed by the amount of pleasure people would have from not getting super hammered, and the amount of fun other people would have from not having super drunk people trying to push them into lines and trying to, pee themselves, stuff like that. Let's see. Oh, I have one more thing. It looks like we're going to have a short episode today. Oh, maybe we'll go into the Boise Beer Buddy. We'll check out what's going on this week with the Boise Beer Buddies. Also, it's Idaho Wine Week, so maybe I'll talk about that too. So the Great American Beer Festival does something that I think is kind of funny. At first, I thought it was really funny. And then once I went to the Great GABF a couple of times and kind of went to a couple of these things, now I think they're still kind of funny, but it's these high-minded conversations and speakers that they set up around the convention center during Great American Beer Fest. And the first time I went, I was like, I'm not going to, I was like, what was I, 29 or 30? I was like, I'm not doing that. That's stupid. Why would I go and listen to a guy talk about carbonation or yeast cells or blah, blah, blah? Well, then, friends, I did what I call ran a brewery. So then I was like, the next time I went, I was like, oh, yeah, I love yeast cells. Sounds awesome. Oh, bottling. Oh, okay, go check that out. Canning versus bottling. All right, that sounds like fun. So now I think that every beer fest should have these kind of conversations going around on the outskirts of the fest. They should have little conversation corners. And I had a great idea for this too, which is instead of a high-minded lecture, we put in argument areas. I was pretty punchy, I guess, a couple weeks ago. So you put in these argument areas and you just talk about hot button issues. So we try to bring back what it was like to hang out at a bar before Google could solve every bet. Now if you're at a bar and you're talking with someone, you can only really get into super subjective arguments, right? You can't really get into anything objective because you can just look it up on Google. So, we do this is so silly. We do areas where people can argue whether they liked, and this is for old people like me, you could argue about 90210 versus Melrose Place. We like that. Friends versus Seinfeld. That's a good one. Moon landing conspiracies. Ooh, now there's other conspiracies out there you could do too. Bullet in ear. And all the sports things. You could just have, at a beer fest, let's face it, you're not going to need more than one sports room. So maybe put in a sports room. Put 49er fans and Seahawk fans in the same space, divided by some kind of wall or like a plexiglass, and see what happens in a semi-controlled environment. I think that would be a lot of fun. I think it would be fun for me as a person who goes to these fests. I'd like to see some special guests. I mean, this is kind of one of those things where all right, so as a beer fest, you buy the beer, right? And then everything else, the breweries and the distributors really do. The beer fest doesn't pay for, jockey boxes or tents or anything like that. The breweries and the distributors bring all that stuff out. So where's the rest? I know the money it's usually nonprofit. Well, why not dip into more of that nonprofit and bring in some things like, guest speakers, or bring in like my mug idea is really good, I think. Bring in food, and not anything like crazy, like not made to order or whatever, but like pizza, soft pretzels. I think Uncrustables are really good. They're pretty cheap and they're carby and everybody seems to like them. Taquitos, I always like anything Mexican, I'm fine with. But that's what I'm talking about. These are some ways that we could kind of dress up our beer fest so that really for people that work in the business, my friends that work in the beer business, they have something new to do every time they go to a fest. So they're not on I know how this goes. I've done it. I did it 3, 4, 5 summers, whatever it was, is you get on autopilot. Okay, got to pack this, got to do this, da, 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 da. Maybe they want to get, maybe we need more stimulation and more stuff going on. So I don't know. Those are my ideas. You can hit me up, idahoboozepod@gmail.com, and let me know what you think. I think that the mug idea is the best idea. I think that might be the best idea maybe I've ever had. So we're going to do that. We'll look into those things. Unfortunately, Caitlin looks like she couldn't make it. I don't see her in the studio. I don't see her anywhere around. So we are going to move on to the close of the show and talk about the Boise Beer Buddy community calendar right after this. The show brought to you by Boise Beer Buddies. Cost of pints got you down? Be a buddy and join Idaho's premier club for saving big at the bar. You'll get discounts at just about every brewery in the state, plus a lot of your favorite craft beer bars, wineries, and specialty shops that sell your favorite brands. Use my promo code BOOZEPOD and get 2-for-1 cards when you visit BoiseBeerBuddies.com and sign up for your buddy card. Be a buddy and save with Boise Beer Buddies and my promo code BOOZEPOD at BoiseBeerBuddies.com. Welcome back to the Idaho Booze Podcast. I am your host, Steve Coons, and hopefully we'll have Greg Koenig on the show. Oh, I'm sorry, Andy Koenig. We're going to have Andy Koenig on to talk about his new tequila. We had him on before. We did an interview, and I fucked up, and it didn't record right. So my apologies to Andy. He already knows about this. I'm just making this known to all of you people because I don't have any pride or shame. So yeah, my apologies to Caitlin Gardner. Apparently, maybe it was, she couldn't make it. She got lost. She couldn't. I don't know. I don't know what happened. But we would have liked to have had you on, Caitlin. It would have been great. Instead, we're going to do, so the big announcement that we have for this week is that 6 tickets to give away to the Sun Valley Beer Fest. Sun Valley Beer Fest was nice enough to put aside 6 tickets for me and for my listeners. And you know how much I love you guys, so I wanted to pass that along and get you guys into the Sun Valley Beer Fest for absolutely free. We're going to give away pairs, so I'm going to do 3 pairs of tickets. The Sun Valley Beer Fest is always a great time. It is really pretty up there during this time of year. There's tons of stuff to do, even if you don't want to go to the beer fest all day. There's tons of fishing. There's tons of other great stuff to do. I really love heading up to Ketchum for this day. I usually go to this fest. There are 2 fests that I really, really love, and this one is one of them, and the other one is Treasure Valley or Magic Valley. The Magic Valley Beer Fest is really, really nice. It's so much fun because the weather is so pretty and it's under shade. There's so many trees in that park and downtown Twin, and it's just nice. I like going to Twin, seeing all my old buddies there. It's a good time. So we're going to give away 3 pairs of tickets to the Sun Valley Brewers Fest, and all you have to do is answer one of my trivia questions here. And you just answer that by going to idahoboozepod@gmail.com, just sending me an email, just doing that. Or you could comment on my Facebook, or you could comment on my Substack, idahobooze.substack.com. That's all you got to do. Just answer one of these trivia questions, and you and a friend will get into the Sun Valley Beer Fest absolutely free. So we're going to start with an easy one. This is for 1 pair of tickets. All you have to do, again, just email or comment, and the first person that does it wins. Which famous novelist finished part of a classic novel in room 206 of the Sun Valley Lodge? So which famous novelist finished part of a classic novel in room 206 of the Sun Valley Lodge? Okay, easy one, right? What skiing discipline was essentially born in Sun Valley in the late 1960s? What skiing discipline was essentially born in Sun Valley in the late 60s? So which Olympic event, I guess, would be a good way to put that. And then finally, my last question is, what fruit loading technology helped inspire the world's first ski chairlift in Sun Valley? Just need to tell me the fruit. What fruit loading technology helped inspire the world's first ski chairlift in Sun Valley? So there you have it. 3 questions. All I need are you can get a hold of me any way you can. however you want. If you know my phone number, you can text me. Any of these ways work. Even if you don't know my phone number, just try texting me. Who knows? Maybe you'll find me. Nobody knows. So yeah, there you go. Those are our Sun Valley trivia, and the first 3 get a pair of tickets to the Sun Valley Beer Fest, absolutely free from your friends here at the Idaho Booze Podcast and from the Sun Valley Beer Fest, who was nice enough to give us those tickets. So moving on, we have the Boise Beer Buddies community calendar. Well, now we'll get to the Boise Beer Buddies community calendar. We'll see what's left going on this week, thanks to Boise Beer Buddies. If you're not a buddy, go be a buddy today. I believe we still have a promo code for there. I believe it's BoozePod25. I think you get half off or something, 2 for 1. 3 to 8 p.m. This is Tuesday, June 16th. So tomorrow, summer solstice book and wine pairing with the Lit Room at Parcero. I think Parcero is also doing like a Rosé Fest thing too. So check them out. Love Parcero. They do a great job. 6 to 7:30 p.m. at Talea. City Peanut Shop will be there. That's going to be awesome. Tasty. That'll be tomorrow. And then Summer Bubbles at House of Wine with Kat, 6:30 to 7:30 there at the House of Wine downtown Boise. Wednesday, 5 to 7 p.m. we have a tasting event with Knee Deep at Homebrew Stuff. Yeah. Love Knee Deep. Love Knee Deep. Homebrew Stuff, give or take. Knee Deep, love them. Then 5 to 7:30 we have Wine Down at the House of Wine. That's going to be Wednesday. And that's going to do it for your Boise Beer Buddies community calendar, brought to you by Boise Beer Buddies. If you're not a buddy, be a buddy today. Going to wrap up the show. I want to thank Sun Valley Beer Fest. Thanks a ton for the tickets. Sorry your person couldn't get on. What are you going to do? I don't know what happened to them. I have not gotten an email or a text or anything. Otherwise, you wouldn't be hearing this and I would have started the show over already. So, but thanks to them for supplying those tickets. Really happy to use those. And hopefully you people out there answer those trivia questions and get at your guy and win some tickets to the Sun Valley Beer Fest. They're free. It's in Sun Valley. Why not? Just answer one of my trivia questions and you'll get in. That's going to do it for the show. Thanks so much to everybody out there for listening. Really appreciate it. Sorry for the long break in between shows. I had nothing really going on. Idaho Beer Month was a lot of fun. Idaho Wine Month is going really well for everybody in the winery business. Keep on keeping on. I did finish my book on a personal note. I did finish my book. It is turned in, and hopefully it'll be out here, hopefully by the end of the year, but who knows. It's all the way in South Carolina. That's also a time difference, so who knows what they're going to want to do with it. Once again, thanks to everybody who's listening. Thanks to everybody out there, and I am Steve Kuntz. Good day and good drinking, everyone.